request the Bilwamangal Prabhu to please take the center stage and give us knowledge and information on the importance of Guru. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much, Ambrish Prabhu, and Hare Krishna everyone, and warm welcome to this program. Firstly, I would like to sincerely thank Ambrish Prabhu for doing such a great job in broadcasting Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission and also engaging different devotees to share Krishna consciousness philosophy via this digital technology. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Yes, today I'll discuss something about importance of having a spiritual master, Guru. And I'll begin by reading a verse from Bhagavad Gita, as it is by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. It's chapter 4 and very famous verse, text 34. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya ubdekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Purport is not a very long one, so I'll read that. The path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. The Lord, therefore, advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord himself. No one can be a bona fide spiritual master without following this principle of disciplic succession. The Lord is the original spiritual master, and a person in disciplic succession can convey the message of the Lord as it is to his disciple. And no one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. The Bhāgavatam says, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. The path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. Inquiries and submission constitute the proper combination for spiritual understanding. Unless there is submission and service, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. One must be able to pass the test of the spiritual master. And when he sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses the disciple with genuine spiritual understanding. In this verse, both blind following and absurd inquiries are condemned. One should not only hear submissively from the spiritual master, but one must also get a clear understanding from him in submission and services and inquiries. So our bona fide spiritual master is by nature very kind towards the disciple. Therefore, when the student is submissive and is always ready to render service, the reciprocation of knowledge and inquiries becomes perfect. Back to the verse, that vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya udyakshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Mama Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisance unto my spiritual master, who has opened my eyes, which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance, the torchlight of knowledge. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Mal Krishna Goswami Iti Namne Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharane Nirvisheshmyadi Paschatya Starane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Thank you. So this is a very important topic for spiritual progress, spiritual realization. If you want to make progress in a spiritual life, then spiritual master is a must. Why? Why should we have a spiritual master? I'll start with that. In every sphere of life, we need a teacher. For example, before that, the first teachers are our parents. Parents teach their children everything required for living. The language, the culture, how to eat, how to take shower, and so forth. So they are the first teachers. And if the parents are spiritually inclined and devotees of the Lord, so much the better. They will also add to the teaching the devotional activities. They will teach their children too. So the children are lucky if the parents are also devotees of the Lord. But nowadays, many parents are not. So their children miss a lot in their life. So it's important to have a spiritual master who will guide us in our spiritual journey. Just like there are so many branches of this material knowledge, if you want to become a teacher, you have to join a teaching institution, and there will be those qualified professors who are going to teach you. They are very experienced teachers. Similarly, if you want to become a doctor, you have to go to a medical school, and they are very experienced doctors who are going to teach you. So to learn spiritual knowledge, you also need to go to a teacher, and that teacher should be also very experienced, self-realized, also very devoted to devotional service, and those teachers are the spiritual masters. They are going to teach the students or the disciple how to who they are first. These are the philosophies will come first. Who they are, why are they here on this planet, why are they suffering, how to get rid of this suffering, and how to perform devotional service to the Lord. All these things will be taught by the spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master. And that the spiritual master is going to engage his disciple in appropriate ways to do the varieties of devotional service. So a perfect example of a guru is no other than the founder Acharya of our Hare Krishna movement, ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, IC's Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He is a perfect guru. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And his guru was His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And once Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur instructed Srila Prabhupada that when he's ready, he has to go to the Western world to teach Krishna Bhakti to the Western people and the English-speaking world. And this was the instruction of his spiritual master. So Srila Prabhupada took that in his heart and prepared himself. It took him a long time to prepare. And when he was ready, at the age of 69, he went to America to carry out the orders of his spiritual master. And of course, it was not easy. He struggled for 1 year, and he was able to speak to some young adults who were interested in spiritual science. And gradually, they surrendered to Srila Prabhupada because he was a pure devotee. He was able to convince these young adults to take to devotional service. And finally, they were initiated as his disciple. He initiated them. And these disciples ultimately helped Srila Prabhupada to spread this movement throughout the world. Because Srila Prabhupada was a pure devotee of Krishna, he was able to give Krishna to those sincere souls who surrendered to his lotus feet. And this miracle happened then. And this movement started, the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. It was started by a pure devotee of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada, who followed the instructions of his spiritual master. And when a spiritual master gives instructions, then he also empowers his disciple to carry out the instruction. So Srila Prabhupada did an amazing thing. Then he was able to spread Krishna consciousness with the help of his very sincere and beloved disciples throughout the world. So next question is, who is a spiritual master or guru? In the Srimad Bhāgavatam 4:21-28, a simple definition is given. It is said that a guru is a self-realized soul, a teacher, who gives proper direction to the disciples under the authority of Vedic injunctions and according to the lives of great personalities. So I'll repeat that. A guru is a self-realized soul, a teacher who gives proper direction to the disciples under the authority of Vedic injunctions and according to the lives of great personalities. That person is a guru. Furthermore, a guru is very well versed with the Vedic scriptures. He lives the Vedic scriptures and he's able to convince others to do so. And our scriptures also mention that a guru is a mercy incarnation of Krishna. Krishna comes millennium after millennium, not every time, but he also sends his very wonderful disciples, devotees in this material world to help us conditioned souls to understand who we are, why we're suffering, and how to stop this cycle of birth and death and go back to our real home, which is the spiritual home. And Krishna devotees would love to go to Golok Vrindavan Dham. So it's imperative that we must have a spiritual master if we want to progress in our spiritual life, spiritual journey. I would also like to mention that there are many spiritual teachers in this world currently, and some of them don't follow any scriptures. They have their own philosophy, and many people follow them. It's the choice of people, but our we are taught that we should, a guru must follow the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhāgavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata, the Vedas. If they don't follow that, then they are not bona fide spiritual teachers. And so our gurus always follow the scriptures very strictly and their spiritual master's instruction. So qualifications of a spiritual teacher. These are some of the qualifications. He's a self-realized person who teaches by an example. He lives, he's a Mahabhagavat. He reads the scriptures and follows the scriptures and lives by the scriptures. So he teaches by example, so he's an Acharya. And he comes from the chain of disciplic succession. He doesn't just start his own philosophy and start becoming self-proclaimed guru, but he comes from a disciplic succession. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, evam parampara praptam imam rajrishyo vidhu sakalena mahata yogo nashti parantapa. This supreme science was received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it that way. So a guru must come in this disciplic succession, which comes from Lord Krishna himself. He is the original spiritual master. And according to Vedic scriptures, guru must come under the 4 sampradayas. And these are the sampradayas: Brahma Madhav Gauriya Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, and the 4 Kumar Sampradaya. If a spiritual master doesn't come under any of these disciplic succession, these sampradayas, then the teachings will not be effective. It's not bona fide. And our ISKCON movement is under Brahma Madhav Gauriya Sampradaya. So that's another qualification, as our spiritual master come under one of these 4 sampradayas, and that's bona fide. Next qualification is the guru follows his own guru, the sadhus, and the shastra. The guru follows his own guru, the spiritual master. He follows the sadhus, the saintly persons, what they have said and how they live, and shastra, our scriptures. If a guru doesn't follow all these things, then he is not a bona fide guru. Next qualification is that the spiritual master must be very conversant in his spiritual knowledge. He knows and follows the scriptures very well. and he does not contradict scriptures. The scripture says in Kali Yuga, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam, kalau nasteva 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 gati anyatha. So he follows that and he propagates this. He teaches this to his disciples and the whole world, that this is the only process which is very effective, which is for Kali Yuga. And next qualification of a guru is that he is spotless in character. He's pure in his habits. And he's transparent. There's nothing for him to hide. He doesn't hide anything in the public or in the private. He is the same person. No duplicity. And he's a transparent via medium to Krishna. And it was mentioned in that Tadvidhi Pranipatena that he follows great personalities in our scriptures. And who are those great personalities? It is mentioned in this verse, Swayambhur Narad Shambhu, Kumaro Kapilo Manu, Pralado Janako Bhishmo, Balirvaya Sakir Vayam. So these are the 12 Mahajanas. And the Guru must follow in the footsteps of these great Mahajanas or teachers. And who are they? Starts from Lord Brahma, Swayambhur Narad, Sri Narad Ji, Shambhu, Lord Shiva, Kumaro, the 4 Kumaras, Kapilo, Lord Kapil, Manu, Swayambhuva Manu, Pralado, Janako Bhishmo, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj Janak, and Bhishmadev, and Bali Maharaj, Sri Sukdev Goswami, and Yamraj. These are the Mahajanas, and if you want to know more about them, you can read about them in the Srimad Bhāgavatam. These are great devotees of Krishna, and they are Mahabhagavatas. And we should follow in their footsteps, and the Guru follow in their footsteps as well to make rapid progress in our bhakti. What does it do? What is the business of a guru? I'll discuss some of those things, and which is very clear so far. You must have understood what he does. His most important responsibility, which no one else can ever perform, and that is to deliver his dependents or his disciples from the cycle of repeated birth and death and take them back to Godhead, Golok Vrindavan Dham. So this is the most important duty of a spiritual master. Who else can do that? Srila Prabhupada, being a guru and pure devotee of Krishna, has started this movement to do this, whatever is mentioned here, to deliver the fallen souls of this planet Earth at least. And he also had his own disciples, initiating them as a spiritual master, following in his footsteps, transmitting the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his disciples. So many of them are gurus now, and some of them have left the planet, like my Guru Maharaj. In 2002, he left this planet. He went back to serve Srila Prabhupada in another sphere of this creation. And still there are some disciples of Srila Prabhupada who are sannyasis, who are carrying on the mission of saving the fallen souls of the world. And they are very wonderful devotees of Krishna. So their main mission is to help the interested people who want to know who they are, why they are suffering, how to stop this cycle of repeated birth and death and go back to Godhead. And they are assisting Srila Prabhupada in doing so. The spiritual master uses sharp words to cut the disciples' mind from material attachments. To deliver, to help them understand spiritual science. Sometimes the spiritual master is hard, and he speaks these scriptural injunctions which are not easy to follow, but he trains his disciples to be able to follow and get detached from material entanglement and be attached to devotional service. The spiritual master's business is to transmit transcendental knowledge to the disciples through the 9 processes of devotional service. And you know the 9 processes of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So he trains them through these 9 processes of bhakti, starting from hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, chanting, and then remembering. So these 3 all go together. He trains his disciples to do that and make progress in their spiritual life, in their devotional service. And he trains gradually this, after doing all these processes of devotional service, at least the 3, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna, gradually the disciples, his students, become attached to devotional service, and that means attached to Krishna, and their love of Krishna develops in their heart. And this is very important. This is what is ultimately required. Ultimately, we need to love Krishna by doing these processes, so that the spiritual master trains his disciples how to do that. In every step of their spiritual life, he's always there to help, support, to correct, to guide, so that the disciple makes progress in spiritual journey. In this world of technology, since the coronavirus is there, the spiritual master all over the world in ISKCON still are able to connect to their disciples through emails, through Zoom meetings, in various ways. So disciples are able to connect to their spiritual master if they have any difficulty, anything they want to share, to get advice from their spiritual master. They are able to do it. And the spiritual master in ISKCON, they are very happy, more than happy to help their disciples in their spiritual journey. So these are the qualifications of the spiritual master, and I will go back to the next thing. Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva in Ramayana, he encourages every soul to have a spiritual master. In one of those shlokas in Ramayana, he says, Guru bina bhav nidhi taray na koi, jo shankar viranchi sam hoi. In the Ramayana, Lord Shiva is speaking to Mata Parvati, narrating Ram Katha. And he says, without the mercy of a guru, one cannot free oneself from this cycle of birth and death, the sansar. Although one may be as elevated, exalted as Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, without the mercy of a spiritual master, one cannot deliver himself or herself from the cycle of birth and death. This is what Lord Shiva said to Mata Parvati. So it's when Lord Shiva is speaking this, then it is really bona fide. We have to have a spiritual master to stop the cycle of birth and death. In Padma Puran, Lord Shiva also told Goddess Durga, Aradhana nam sarvesham Vishnur Aradhana param tasmat partaram devi tadyanam samarchanam. My dear Devi, although the Vedas mention the worship of demigods, devatas, the worship of Lord Vishnu is the topmost and is ultimately recommended. However, above the worship of Lord Vishnu is the worship of Lord's devotees, the Vaishnavas. So, in Padma Puran, Lord Shiva is mentioning that although there is mention of, in the Vedas, it is mentioned so many different types of worship, but the topmost is worshipping Lord Vishnu, and above that is the worship of Lord Vishnu's devotees. And that means the spiritual teachers, the spiritual masters, the guru is worshipable. Similarly, in Adi Puran, Lord Krishna addressed Arjuna. He's emphasizing the importance of a guru or pure devotee of the Lord. Eme bhakta jana partha, name bhaktas chate jana, mad bhakta nams chaye bhaktas, teme bhakta tamha mata. Translation: my dear Partha, one who claims to be my devotee is not my devotee, but one who claims to be the devotee of my devotee is actually my devotee. So, Krishna clearly mentions to attain him, to attain his love, we can't go directly to Krishna. We can go to Krishna via medium will be his devotees, through Guru. Through his devotees, we are able to connect to Krishna. Otherwise, we cannot. Now, no one can approach Krishna directly. One must approach him through his pure devotees. So this is another verse which even Lord Krishna mentions, that there is a need of a spiritual master. There is a need of taking shelter of a pure devotee of his. There are numerous statements in the Vedic scriptures highlighting the need of a bona fide guru. No one can become self-realized by reading scriptures. We all need transcendental professors to guide us and bless us to be able to perform devotional service. And they are spiritual teachers. As I have already mentioned, the qualifications of spiritual teachers. We need to study under qualified, experienced spiritual teachers to become a devotee of the Lord. In the Srimad Bhāgavatam 11:20-17, it is stated, I quote, this human form of body is a most valuable boat, and the spiritual master is the captain, Guru Karnadharam, to guide the boat across the ocean of nescience, darkness. The instruction of Krishna is a favorable breeze which he gave in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. One must use all these facilities to cross the ocean of nescience. So, in our Vedic scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, even in the Ramayana, it is stated in various places that we must have a spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master to help us in our spiritual journey, so that we are able to stop this cycle of repeated birth and death and go back home, back to Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. By the mercy of Krishna and the Guru, one receives the kripa of devotional service, which is the only way to Krishna. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. To go back or to connect to Krishna, the only process is bhakti, which only can be given by a person who has bhakti, which is the spiritual master. And to set an example of ordinary men, even Lord Krishna and in his incarnations, such as Lord Ramchandra, they accepted a spiritual master and strictly followed the regulative principles. All the acharyas, which in our disciplic succession and devotees of the Lord is accepted as spiritual master. For example, when Lord Krishna came, he performed leelas like an ordinary person, but his leelas were superhuman, extraordinary, which we normal person cannot do it. For example, he lifted the Govardhan hill on his little finger for 7 days and 7 nights. Who can do that? But he also acted like ordinary person. And their guru, Krishna Balaram, accepted Sandipani Muni as their spiritual master at the correct age, young age. And Lord Ramchandra and his brothers, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughan, their guru was Vasishta Muni. Similarly, the great Mahajanas like Prahlad Maharaj, his guru was Narad Muni. And so on. So even Lord Krishna and Lord Ramchandra accepted Guru when they came on this planet Earth in different yugas to give examples, to show examples that we ordinary persons, we cannot free ourselves from the cycle of birth and death unless and until we take shelter of his devotees, pure devotees. Only then we are able to deliver ourselves. The position of a guru. Lord Krishna himself has described the exalted position of his pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7:27, it is stated, Acharyam yam vigyaniyan nama nava manyeta karhichit namartaya buddhya suyata sarvadeva mayo guru. Translation. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man. for he is the representative of all the demigods. So it's so important, the position of a guru. As I mentioned earlier, he is the mercy incarnation of Lord Krishna himself. He is the representative of Krishna. In Srimad Bhāgavatam 1.13.10, King Yudhishthira is speaking to Mahatma Vidur, and he's saying, Bhavad Vidha Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibhu Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantasthena Gadhavita. Translation: My Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified. Because you can carry personality of Godhead within your heart, you turn all places into places of pilgrimage. So pure devotees of the Lord who are spiritual teachers, spiritual masters, wherever they go, that place becomes a tirtha, holy places, because they carry Krishna within their heart. And they are very attached to Krishna, pure devotees of Krishna, and they are able to help us as conditioned souls to take to devotional service in our life and make our life successful. So, Prabhuji, I think it's almost time.
Yes, Prabhu.
So,
Hare Krishna.
yeah, so I'll stop here.
You can continue, Prabhu. You can continue a few more minutes. That's fine.
Okay, all right.
Continue. No problem.
So similarly, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, before that, Arjuna became disciple of Krishna when he was bewildered in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. And whatever he mentioned was quite true. He said, I don't want this kingdom by killing my kinsmen, my guru, my grandchaya, Bhishma Pitama, my cousins, and all these family members. He was speaking from his heart. And then Krishna became, and he was bewildered, and he said, no, Krishna, I'm not going to fight this war. And he was shivering, and he left Gandhi, and then he surrendered to the Lord. Then Krishna became his guru, his spiritual master. Although he was friend, he became a teacher, and then he delivered this Bhagavad Gita. He spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And after that, and Arjuna was a great disciple. He asked so many questions to Krishna to clear his mind. Actually, he was a great devotee of the Lord. He did all these things for us, ordinary persons, conditioned souls, so that we can learn. So Krishna answered all his questions, and all his questions were answered very well. And at the end, in the 18th chapters at verse 73, he said, Nashta moha smritir labdha tat prasadam me achyuta stito asmi gata sandeha karashye vachanam tava. My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and I am prepared to act according to your instructions. So ultimately, Krishna was able to bring light to Arjuna, dispel his nescience, and teach him who he is and what is his responsibility, and who is Krishna himself, and all these things. And he finally, Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, and he accepted him as his spiritual master. He was lucky to have Krishna as his spiritual master. And he said, I'm prepared to act according to your instructions. And that is what all the disciples must do. We must follow the instructions of our spiritual master if we want to make progress in our spiritual journey. It's a must. We must try, and the Guru will have give mercy to us, and he will empower us to follow his instructions. I will stop here, and I would like to once again thank Prabhuji, Amrish Prabhuji, for inviting me to speak on this forum. He's doing great service to his spiritual master. Krishna is very pleased. Krishna says, whoever shares this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to anyone is most dear to me. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity to share something about our philosophy on spiritual master, the importance, his qualifications, his responsibility, and his duty, and how he helps us like fallen souls to qualify to go back to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bilwamangal Prabhu. Thank you very much for a nice class. Giving us from different angles the scriptural knowledge and the importance of a bona fide spiritual master who has seen the absolute truth, and he can hold our finger and take us to see the absolute truth and be with him. So nice, thank you. Now, I would like to encourage, if anyone has any questions or like to share something, you can please raise it to him. Bilwamangal Prabhu, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your nice class and about spiritual master. Just have a little doubt that when you just want to clarify, the spiritual master is a Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru?
Okay. In this context, we can say there are three gurus. One is Chaitya Guru. The Chaitya Guru is within your heart, the Paramatma. He always guides everybody, what to do and what not to do. He guides within the heart. And each soul will be able to hear that. That's Chaitya Guru. Diksha Guru is the spiritual master who formally initiates you in the whatever, like ISKCON. Like we have Diksha Gurus. So you'll take shelter of him, and he formally initiates you in this Prabhupada's home of ISKCON. So that's your Diksha Guru. You will have yagna, you will be given a name, and you will have to promise. So you have been through this. So that's your Diksha Guru. And Siksha Guru can be anyone who will bring you to this devotional life. Can be anyone. It can be a friend, it can be another person, can be a devotee. These are Siksha Gurus. Will give you some knowledge and will invite you to come to temple and listen to classes and take darshan. So these are Siksha Gurus. Siksha Gurus can be many, but Diksha Guru is usually one, always one. Even if your Guru leaves this planet, that's your Guru. We should not leave our Diksha Guru at any cost. So I have mentioned. So that's Diksha Guru. I hope I have clarified.
So they all three are spiritual master.
They can be. They are all gurus in different levels. Paramatma is your Chaitya Guru. You can say even Krishna is there. It says Paramatma's there. And Diksha Guru is, he formally initiates you, gives you names, and he's the person responsible to guide you through. Of course, Siksha Gurus and other devotees will help you. But ultimately, the Diksha Guru will take you back to Godhead. That's his responsibility. Siksha Guru can be several.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I just want to clarify one doubt. Thank you very much for your very nice class and actually giving us a lot of different scriptural knowledge on the importance of a guru. The one point that you mentioned where you said that actually the worship of the guru is given more importance than worship of Krishna. So could you please able to expand further on that point? Why it is like that? Even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the devotee of he said the one who claimed to be devotee of me is not a devotee, but one who claim a devotee of my devotee is a real devotee. So could you able to just expand on this point? Means just to give a more clarification.
Thank you. I'll try. It is mentioned in the scriptures, bhakti comes from bhakti. And Krishna doesn't give bhakti to anyone. His pure devotees, the Bhagavatas, they have bhakti. And they are the ones who are able to give bhakti to any person who surrenders to them. So I think this is why Krishna mentioned that directly you can't worship him. You have to worship him through his devotees. And those devotees are our spiritual teachers. They are great personalities. And they are able to give bhakti to us. Bhakti comes from bhakti. So, and Krishna doesn't give himself to anybody. He only gives himself to his pure devotees. And we are not pure at all. And we can't get Krishna. So we have to go and surrender to his devotees. And they are going to give us this devotion to Krishna. And then we'll be able to attain the love of Krishna. So I think that's the reason, because bhakti comes from bhakti. Krishna doesn't give bhakti to anyone. It comes from his pure devotees, and they can give bhakti to us. And this is how we'll attain Krishna, love of Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Amrit Prabhu, you can elaborate on that too.
Thank you. You've spoken correctly. Thank you. We are nearly on time here at 7 o'clock, but I'm very happy. If someone has to raise a question, please feel free. And we'll
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, thank you very much for your nice class. I just have one question. If someone can go to, God without having spiritual master? Can he go to God without spiritual master? But is in Krishna consciousness.
According to Lord Shiva, I just mentioned that something from the Ramayana. Guru bina bhavanidhi taraina koi jo shankar viranchi samhoi. Lord Shiva clearly mentions that we cannot deliver ourselves from the cycle of birth and death without the mercy of a spiritual master. Even if we are as great persons as Lord Shiva himself or Lord Brahma, bina guru ke. And there's a bhajan that I remember when I was young. People were singing at the time of death ceremonies. Guru bina mukti na hoyo, suno hansa gyani. Without a spiritual master, you cannot be liberated. In the bhajan, it says that without a spiritual master, that means you cannot go back to spiritual world directly. You have to surrender and serve. Both are very important. A devotee of the Lord will be able to help you stop this cycle of birth and death. That's the understanding from the scriptures, that you can't directly go. Even in the Christian faith, Lord Jesus said, you cannot go to the Father, that is Krishna, by yourself. You have to go through me. There's a verse, I don't remember that, but you have to go through Lord Jesus to reach the Father. So even in their faith, this mentioned, the spiritual master is so important. So you cannot go according to our Vedic literature. You have to go through a devotee of the Lord, and then you can attain Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, for your nice realization, and thank you for all the devotees for your questions too. We are always in a very unique position in ISKCON, where Srila Prabhupada's books are being taught, from the very beginning. So normally you go to Guru to get knowledge, but here his knowledge is available easily, if you were to open and read. But you require knowledge from a bona fide spiritual master who can give you diksha to bring in a line of disciplic succession. That is important, So we are very unique. I always find in my preaching as this is a very unique situation. Otherwise, in the Vedic way, to get knowledge, you have to become a disciple of a guru. Only then he gives you that mantra, and then he gives you knowledge. Otherwise, you can't get the knowledge.
Yeah, it's very neat. Prabhupada has already given us the knowledge, but then we go through the spiritual master. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Okay, so thank you very much, Bilwamangal Prabhu, for your nice realization once again, and thank you for all the devotees. Now those of us who are joining us now for the second session, which is the beginners program, from our YouTube, there will be a small disconnection now, and then we'll give you a live link again for the next program. We are discussing about the science of the soul in that, the soul research. In that will be a discussion of it. Okay, so for those who are in YouTube, just hold on. We'll disconnect to this link and then we'll link again. Krishna's going to sing Jai Radha Madhava in the meantime. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare